We do have Tennessee Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn joining us right now. And Senator, it's always great to speak with you. I want to pick up on something that he said during the Q&A portion. He was talking about Xi Jinping and that relationship with China. First off, he said about the conversation they had last Friday, he called me. Then he said that it is a, quote, unfair relationship with China. I ask you this question because we're still in the middle of trying to figure out what's going to happen to TikTok. And we also know that President Trump has signaled that he would like to go to China in the first 100 days.
And Cheryl, what we know is this. Xi Jinping has figured out he is not going to be able to walk all over Donald Trump like he did Joe Biden. And Joe Biden did not require them to hold their quotas on ag products. That directly affects the Tennesseans that I represent. We also know that when it comes to manufacturing and some of the advanced manufacturing components for polysilica that is needed in solar panels and what is needed in batteries for electric vehicles, that they let China just dictate the marketplace. What Xi Jinping knows is Donald Trump is not going to allow that to happen. They're going to have to go back to buying those ag products. We're going to look for supply chains that are more stable, secure, and resilient than what we see in China. That Donald Trump is going to push forward and not let them steal the intellectual property of American innovators and then go into a factory and reverse engineer what these innovators have created. So I think he understands it is a different ball game when it comes to TikTok. Hopefully he appreciates that the U.S. Senate and House are really resolved to be certain that the Chinese Communist Party has nothing to do with TikTok, that they are not going to be able to algorithmically surveil the American people.
Well, the question mark is what happens to that algorithm, who controls it, because Xi Jinping is the only person that can greenlight control of that algorithm over to a group of U.S. investors or U.S. investors. But one of the things that he did say in Davos I thought was interesting is he talked about our role in NATO. And he put them on notice. And our correspondent here, Jennifer Griffin, is pointing this out. He said 5%. That would be over $1 trillion for our contribution to NATO. I mean, if every country in NATO ups the ante and ups investments, that's going to hit us as well. This in the middle of trying to cut $2 trillion in spending. How do we negotiate this?
And I'm sure the president has a formula that he is looking at for this and making certain that the other nations involved in NATO are going to meet their requirements and that they're not going to say the U.S. has to carry the bulk of this cost, because our citizens are tired of bearing the cost for the UN. And then we find out you've got agencies like UNRWA who are helping our enemies. They're tired of bearing the cost for NATO. As much as we appreciate their work, they feel these other nations need to be paying their fair share. Maybe we're going to see a catch-up option for these other nations as they look at their contributions to NATO.
Senator, I also want to ask you about something that the Wall Street Journal is reporting this morning, and they're quoting defense officials, not named, saying that there have been requests from the Trump White House and officials within the White House to basically bring as many as 10,000 troops down to the southern border. And while no official request has been made yet, that is the thinking and the plan. What can you tell us?
I don't have any insight into what those in the administration are asking of DOD. What we do know is that there is that push to put more of our National Guard troops on the border to help the Border Patrol. We do know that the presence of these troops and the elimination of the CBP-1 app has caused the occurrences, the apprehensions at that border to drop dramatically. and they need to be dropping either further. Cheryl, it is so imperative that we know who is coming in this country, the reason that they are coming, and that these deportations of criminal, illegal aliens continue in order to make this country safe.
Okay, Senator, I'm out of time, but next time I see you, I do want to ask you again if you're going to run for governor of Tennessee. We have a couple of years, but I'm definitely curious about that. Senator, last word.
Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Good to see you, Senator Marsha Blackburn.